So coming up tonight, former general manager of Akonta Mining Company Limited, Edward Ekuoko, reveals how the company mined in forest reserves without permits in a testimony.
Later in the bulletin, President John Mahama cut sword for construction of 200-kilometer Wenchi-Bole-Sola-Wa road network.
In business news tonight, Ghana's inflation rate falls to a 4-year low of 8% in October 2025, sparking investor appetite for further cuts in policy rates.
On the international front, Nigerian government rejects the United States designation of the country as a country of particular concern over alleged violation of religious freedom.
We have details of all these stories and many more coming up in the next 1 hour. Do stay with us.
We are starting from issues regarding the law. The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, has recommended that the former Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Amishadai Owusu-Amoah, be banned from holding public office for the next 5 years. The findings refer the former GRA boss to the Attorney General for possible prosecution. This recommendation follows findings of corruption, fraud, and breaches of procurement procedures during his tenure as the head of the authority.
The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, conducted investigations into alleged corruption by Reverend Amishadai Owusu-Amoah over some infractions in the award of contract for the supply of vehicles and other logistics to 3 companies. The complaint was filed in August 2022 by a civil society organization, the Movement for Truth and Accountability. The group demanded that SHRAJ investigate the awarding of contract to the companies. The complainants alleged corruption and fraud against the former Commissioner General of the GRA. Despite a last-minute withdrawal, SHRAJ proceeded with the investigation and commended the complainants for showing public-spiritedness in lodging the complaint. SHRAJ argued that Reverend Amishadai Owusu-Amoah, in his capacity as head of the GRA, is responsible and accountable under Section 17 of the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 633, as amended for action taken and for instructions as regards the implementation of this act. SHRAJ, after its investigations, recommended that the respondent be disqualified from holding any public office for a period of 5 years from the date of this decision. SHRAJ further noted that the former GRA boss's actions caused financial loss to the state of about 9 million cedis. The SHRAJ findings referred the former GRA boss and the directors of the 3 companies to the Attorney General for possible prosecution and the recovery of the sum lost to the state.
Right, so let's go to the phone lines now. Edem Senanu is the co-chair for Citizens Movement Against Corruption. He's joined us for a quick conversation on this. Mr. Senanu, good evening to you. Thank you for your time. As an anti-corruption person, are you surprised about these findings from SHRAJ?
Well, no. I mean, given the nature of the GRA as such an elaborate organization, if you're not keeping eyes on things, it's not too surprising to have situations like this being reported. So no real surprise. I think the issue for me would be the extent of culpability of the commissioner, because it seems to me they are saying he cannot avoid liability, which suggests that other persons were more directly involved. And so the question in my mind is, who was directly responsible for this? Yes, we may say ultimately the head of the entity bears some responsibility, but if we're going to fix our systems, we need to pay attention to where things are going wrong and how they went wrong in order to come up with sound recommendations moving forward.
And I'm sure that your main concern would also be that beyond prosecutions and probably beyond the retrieval of these monies we are told that the state has lost, there should be a review of the processes so we do not have a recurrence of some of this, because the Revenue Authority would always be dealing with revenue and money and cash flow, isn't it?
Absolutely. So it seems to me, I mean, mind you, Reverend Dr. Asiedu-Dartey has the right to take these issues up in court. So it's not as if this is a conclusive matter. And these are recommendations for somebody who I believe has actually retired. So even the recommendation that he should be disqualified from a public office for 5 years, I'm not even quite sure how that connects with the individual involved. Substantively, what allowed this repetition to happen where companies that don't have the credibility, the capacity, whose location we don't know, I mean, that's strange. And we should be applying ourselves to that as well.
Right.
Because just recommending sanctions is not likely to get us an end to this continuous situation we find ourselves in.
Right. Mr. Senanu, thank you so much for your time. And in the coming days, we'll certainly be engaging you and other individuals, because the lawyer for the 3 institutions involved say they are going to have their day in court. So we'll update you on how all of this plays out.
And coming up shortly on your screens are the findings by Shraj against the former GRA boss. And they found that the award of contracts was in breach of some provisions of the Public Procurement Act, and the prices of vehicles from some of the companies were inflated, as well as the contract and supply of vehicles and logistics were tainted with fraud and corruption, and he, Reverend Asiedu-Dartey, cannot escape liability. Now, these happened during his tenure as the Ghana Revenue Authority boss. It's also found that his actions caused financial loss to the state to the tune of $826,551, as well as over 8 million Ghana cedis.
Right, so like we indicated, so it's the GRA boss and 3 companies that the Shraj captured in their report. Now, the lawyer for those 3 companies says that they are going to be going to court to try and clear their name. And the lawyer is Joseph Dindi-Okpemka, who spoke earlier on 3FM 92.7. Mind you, he's also former Deputy Attorney General of the Republic.
I have the instructions of my clients to proceed to court to challenge the report. That's the preliminary remark I want to make. And the grounds for it are such that when we file the matter, it will be the subject of discussion. You know, I recall that a few minutes ago, a colleague of yours read, for example, about sole sourcing, which was used as a method for awarding the contract to the companies. And the fundamental question Shraj hasn't addressed is whether that had the blessing of the PPA. And if the PPA approved it, what fault will the parties bear? That's a fundamental thing that they ought to have established first. Because once an entity hears of an opportunity or sees an opportunity, you go take advantage and apply and go through the processes.
Let's now turn our attention to illegal mining, as tensions flared in Parliament today when members from both sides of the House traded jabs about which government has done better in the fight against illegal mining, while members from the majority say the past government failed to tackle the menace. The opposition has equated the arrest of an NDC lawmaker to the struggles of the current administration in ending the menace.
I want to commend government for the effort made so far, even though I believe that more must be done again, Mr. Speaker, to bring this under control. For example, the introduction of the Blue Water Guard, Mr. Speaker, is a very, very important intervention. Mr. Speaker, recently, the LI that allow for mining in forest reserves have also been revoked. And Mr. Speaker, I believe that these are very decisive steps that have been taken to deal with this menace.
We had hope Ghanaians had faith. They believed in our brothers in opposition, thinking that within the shortest possible time, Galamsey will be a thing of the past. What do we see today? It is even aggravating. I will never blame the NDC government. I want to be a good citizen. But I'm asking them first to apologize to us and Ghanaians for lying to us. The deception, the propaganda, the lies you told Ghanaians. Let us all understand the fact that some of these issues must be given the needed national attention, devoid of politics.
Mr. Speaker, we're in this country where people told us that they had put their presidency on the line and ended up with the presidency at home and left us with Galamsey. Mr. Speaker, we are making sure that those environments that you destroyed will reclaim those environments. And you should be clapping for John Mahama for wanting to save your environment.
Your own member of parliament, no MP so far has been accused or arrested because of Galamsey. But an NDC member of parliament led tax to go and attack security forces because of Galamsey. And you have the nerve, you have the audacity to accuse us. 5,000 excavators were moved. And excavators were being moved in the night. Yes. Why are you not arresting the supposed big people? Why are you shielding the big people? Why are you shielding them? It is because you are complicit.
We saw you in office in the last 8 years when you told the people of this country that your party was looking for money and the only way you could get money was to engage in Galamsey activities. The former defense minister wants to know who we have arrested. As we speak today, your regional chairman is facing trials. So we are going to go after all the big people who are living in Accra and sponsoring the young people to mine in our forests and destroy our water bodies. The government should revitalize and invest in community-based mining cooperatives, not only name-changing them, established under the previous government, and bring them under robust regulatory framework that enforces strict environmental and safety standards.
And away from Parliament, former General Manager of Akonta Mining Company Limited, Edward Kwesi Ekwo-Okun, has revealed that NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman, that's Bernard Nchubu-Isiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, instructed company staff to mine in the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve without a permit. And this revelation is part of a witness statement he filed to testify for the Republic in its case against Akonta Mining and others. We bring you excerpts of that testimony in his witness statement. And according to him, Chairman Wontumi promised him 20,000 cedis monthly, as well as a Toyota Land Cruiser V8 as Akonta Mining's general manager, but he only received 4,000 cedis monthly for fuel. He further testifies that Chairman Wontumi directed them to move in and mine in the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve without mining permits. He says when he asked Chairman Wontumi whether he had authorization to mine in the forest reserve, he told them to proceed to mine because he had spoken to the Lands and Natural Resources Minister. And he further states that Chairman Wontumi told him he had Chinese partners who carried out all the mining activities and also provided all logistics for the mining operations. That according to Mr. Edward Ekwo-Okun, the former general manager, who is now testifying for the state in this issue. There'll be more on this developing story on Ghana Tonight with Alfred Okansi.
Let's go to one of our headline stories this evening. And President John Dramani Mahama has cut sword for the construction of the 200-kilometer Winchi-Bole Solar-Wa Road network to open up the N12 into neighboring countries as part of the Big Push agenda. At a ceremony to break the grounds in Sola of the Savannah region, both the roads minister and the president gave indications that the high push agenda, or the Big Push agenda, I should say, is achieving its intended purpose.
Your Excellency, from Winchi to Wa will be around 200 kilometers of road. Your Excellency, no government has ever created this level of ambition. Yes, indeed, a section of this road was awarded before you came, but the contractor never turned up to site because the financing was never secured. You are the one who came and you did not cancel that contract. You included it in the big push. That is why we are doing from Wenchi to Wa today.
We are here to cut sword to cover 3 regions: Bono East, Savannah, and Upper West regions. Today's sword cutting covers the reconstruction of the road all the way from Wenchi to Wa. The road is going to be reconstructed. It will be a new road, very well constructed, so that it can adjust to the traffic that it's carrying as an international route to the landlocked countries in Burkina Faso and Mali. At the same time, today represents a sword cutting for the reconstruction of the Fufulso-Sola Road. As you can see, the Sola-Fufulso Road was completed when I was president. Unfortunately, due to lack of maintenance, many parts of the road have deteriorated. And so the same contractor who's working on the Wenchi-Wa Road has also been asked to work on the Fufulso to Sola Road. We're here to open a new corridor of progress, to reconnect regions, markets, and families, to renew the promise of inclusive development, and to affirm that every part of Ghana deserves modern infrastructure, dignity, and opportunity.
Let's now go to the Upper East region, where state security personnel who operate in high-risk areas in the region have been urged to take note of the potential dangers and ensure their safety in line of duty. This caution was jointly made by the Deputy Comptroller General of Immigration and the Army's Northern General Officer Commandant during a high-level visit to Tempani. Castro Senyala has more.
The visit by the Deputy Comptroller General of Immigration in charge of command posts and operations to the Upper East region was to support ongoing investigations and boost the morale of officers following the recent shooting of 2 Ghana Immigration Service personnel at Nagane in the Tempani district, an incident that claimed the life of 1 officer. Upon arrival, the Deputy Comptroller General and his team first visited the surviving officer to assure him of the service's full support throughout his recovery.
Normally after the dressing, and then pain comes down.
The team then proceeded to the scene of the tragic attack in Nagane, where the security chiefs urged residents to provide credible information that could lead to the arrest of the perpetrators and the retrieval of the missing rifles.
To help us with information. We want to find the people, we want our guns back.
In recent times, communities within the Boko General area have witnessed a series of deadly attacks, with the latest incident targeting security personnel. Addressing officers on the ground, the Deputy Comptroller General, Lord Ofori Afrifa, urged them to prioritize their safety while carrying out their duties.
And as we have been talking to them, we've been warning them and saying that we should take our security seriously, our situational awareness. We should be aware of the operational area we are in, the risks, the dangers that we face in the duty of our work.
With the changing nature of violent attacks in conflict areas, the General Officer Commandant of the Ghana Army's Northern Command, Brigadier General Walanyo Agbebo, has called for stronger interagency collaboration to effectively respond to the growing insecurity.
We have been doing this all over the regions. When I thought all the 5 regions, anywhere there's immigration and a custom post, I make sure I go there and I make sure that they have interaction with the military and to tell them that the military is always behind them, ready to support them at any point of time. So they should exchange contact numbers and make sure that they are always in touch.
The Ghana Immigration Service and the Ghana Police Service are continuing with investigations into the circumstances surrounding the shooting, with assurance that every effort will be made to bring the perpetrators to justice and prevent similar incidents in the future. For TV3 News, Castro Sinyala, Timpani District, Upper East Region.
From Upper East, let's go to the Savannah region and specifically to the East Gonja municipality of the Savannah region, where residents are demanding urgent government intervention to resolve what they describe as decades of crippling power instability.
Electricity supply to Salaga, Bimbila, Wulensi, Bandai, Baza, Ketekrache, and other parts of the Eastern Corridor Road has not been the best over the past 4 years. Residents have had to battle with intermittent power outages, low and high voltage, face off, among other power supply challenges on daily basis. In 2022, residents of Salaga organized a demonstration to demand for an improvement of the power supply, but the situation seems unchanged as businesses and other livelihood activities have crumbled. To further press home their demand for stable power supply, the residents have hit the streets for the 4th time to protest. Conveners of the protest intimated that they will continue to protest until their demands are met.
What we are doing is to complement such efforts so that government attention will focus here and know that we in the East Gonja municipality, we in the Salaga South constituency have challenges that government must.
We are pleading on the government to try and then fix our lights for us so that we'll get more current to pump out the water so that Salaga can get more water. According to the youth, the municipality has battled unstable power supply for years with no concrete solution from authorities despite numerous engagements with the Volta River Authority VRA and the Northern Electricity Distribution Company NEDCO. The demonstrators presented a petition to the Municipal Assembly urging government to reconnect Salaga to a more stable power line and fast-track the construction of a proposed power substation in the area. East Gonja Municipal Coordinating Director Al-Hassan Mahamudu Kamara, who received the petition on behalf of the Assembly, says the Assembly has already engaged stakeholders on the issue and assured the situation will receive the necessary attention.
We shall do all we can to ensure that the concerns of the youth of Salaga.
In more news tonight, Care Flight Ghana has just made history, becoming the first Ghanaian medical facility to receive the prestigious International Training Center certification from the American Heart Association. This is the highest status a training center can obtain globally.
For years, Care Flight Ghana has been at the forefront, serving not only the public but also critical sectors like mining, aerospace and oil and gas. Now, with this American Heart Association certification, Care Flight Ghana is authorized to offer globally recognized courses including basic life support and advanced cardiac life support for healthcare professionals. But their reach extends even further, providing crucial CPR, first aid and automated external defibrillator training for schools and the general public, empowering more Ghanaians with life-saving skills.
I would urge the Medical and Dental Council and the Nurses and Midwifery Council to also make this as part of the mandatory CPDs that healthcare providers need to take. People collapse or get cardiac arrest, and as healthcare providers, we normally get confused. We don't even know what to do.
Medical Director, Care Flight Ghana, Dr. Isaka Yakubu Akparibu, noted that adherence to international best practices, as they now teach, can dramatically improve survival rates across the country.
If you are able to perform the various maneuvers that the American Heart Association recommends, the chances of survival for the person will be about 84%. Some few years ago, Ericsson, the Man United player, he got a cardiac arrest on the field, and because the first responders knew how to perform CPR, they knew how to use the AED, Ericsson survived and he's playing soccer today.
Beyond training, Care Flight offers a comprehensive suite of services, including aircrew aeromedical exams, travel medicine and vaccinations, as well as vital air and ground medical transport and evacuation services with their mobile intensive care unit and worksite first aid training. The facility, located in the Smith Emporium at the Airport City in Accra, will soon be launching its innovative mobile stroke unit a significant development aimed at improving outcomes for stroke patients through rapid specialized intervention.
Authorities at the Jilakopa Basic School in the Karachi West Municipality of the Oti region are appealing to the Ghana Education Service to post more teachers to the school to enhance efficient teaching and learning. According to the head teacher of the school, Prosper Adanya, the school is understaffed with only 3 teachers handling more than 300 learners, a situation he says is affecting learning outcomes.
The Jilakopa MA Basic School, which is located in an island community in the Karachi West Municipality of the Oti region, provides access to basic education for more than 300 school children from some 6 communities in the catchment area. Until recently, the school struggled with classroom infrastructure, with learners said to have been accommodated in what authorities describe as unsafe learning environment. But thanks to Madamfo Ghana Foundation, a fully furnished 6-unit classroom infrastructure has been commissioned for the school.
Formerly, we ran this school under 3 and then a deaf trap classrooms. Some years ago, a big storm took away all these structures. So we have to be running this school on shift. The KG and then the lower primary, they come at 8 and close at 12. Then we continue from the upper primary from 12 to the JHS at 3 o'clock.
While thanking Madamfo Ghana Foundation for the intervention, head teacher of the school, Prosper Adanya, appealed to government and the GES to address the issue of inadequate teachers on staff, among other challenges that hinder quality teaching and learning.
I need teachers because we are only 3 professional teachers managing from KG to JHS 3. So in the population about 362, 3 teachers managing 362. So for the academic performance, I can 100% boost of it till they give me more teachers in order to prove on it.
The project also comes with a wash facility, a solar-powered system, and another 6-unit accommodation facility for teachers. Deputy Country Director for Madamfo Ghana Foundation, Enoch Sunday Atipo, explained that the project is in line with the organization's goal to ensure no child is left behind in education.
When we compare those living in these rural communities, they write the same exams with those in the bigger cities, and these people need infrastructure. When we came for assessment, we realized that this community is not having a proper classroom, and we don't know a classroom play a major role or play a major role when it comes to education. So we decided to impact their lives by providing education infrastructure for them with the wash, so that these school people can also compete with our bigger cities, so that they can improve their knowledge.
This is still News 360 on TV3. Don't forget that we have business, sports, and entertainment all coming up, so don't move a muscle. Stay with us.
I love Person and Charcoal. Why?
When there's so many other charcoal toothpaste.
That's both charcoal and lemon.
Oh, does it?
Yes, look right here.
10th consecutive monthly decline and brings the rate to its lowest level since June 2021.
The 8% year-on-year figure for October is down by 9.4% in September, placing the rate precisely at the central point of the Bank of Ghana's medium-term target band of 8% plus or minus 2. This is the lowest inflation rate in 4 years. The continued slowdown reflects the impact of tight monetary policy and the stabilization efforts under the current economic program. According to government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu, declining food prices are primarily responsible for the overall drop.
Month-on-month inflation, prices actually fell a little by 0.4%. So on the average, things cost slightly less in October than in September. This continued slowdown confirms that Ghana's prices are stabilizing after a long period of volatility. Food prices went up 9.5% in October compared to last year. Food prices, however, fell by 1% between September and October this year.
This achievement provides a major boost to government ahead of the 2026 budget presentation, signaling that the nation is transitioning from a period of high instability toward sustained economic recovery.
For government, maintaining fiscal discipline and investing in storage, irrigation, and roads will help keep food prices steady. For businesses, this is a time to cut waste, improve efficiency, and buy more from local supplies. For households, take advantage of falling inflation to budget carefully, avoid unnecessary spending, and save when prices are low.
The Bank of Ghana will now face the challenge of maintaining this stability while balancing the need to stimulate economic growth amid calls for further rate cuts.
For many Ghanaians, navigating the bustle of city life, convenience and safety are non-negotiable when it comes to transportation. And according to a new nationwide survey by Bolt, that's exactly why most passengers are choosing ride-hailing rides.
The Ride-Hailing Safety Index report, commissioned by Bolt and conducted by Ipsos, surveyed residents in Accra, Kumasi, Tamale and Takoradi. The findings show that 81% of respondents view ride-hailing as the safest way to move around cities, with convenience and reliability topping their reasons for use. Ipsos Head of Strategy Africa, Witness Soyinka, added that the results show ride-hailing is increasingly associated with trust and accountability, especially among women and younger users who make up the majority of passengers. Bolt's Regional PR Manager Sandra Suzanne Biol said the report reinforces safety as a key reason people choose ride-hailing.
We are overwhelmed with the positive results. 81% of passengers in Ghana saying that they feel safer using ride-hailing than other transport modes, I think is a great and a very big achievement for we at Bolt. We are doing to ensure that ride-hailing platforms such as Bolt continue to enhance safety and make sure our ecosystem is stronger.
Acting Deputy Director, Research and Business Development and Innovation at DVLA, Albert Wotogui, spoke about how they regulate the drivers and cars.
When boats accept you as a driver or a vehicle on their platform, they have to come to DVLA for verification of all your documents. One, first of all, your driving license, and then with the car itself, whether your roadworthiness is up to date, your vehicle is up to standard and roadworthy to be on the road.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obudu. We'll bring you updates now from the currency and the commodities market.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. The Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, has announced government's plans to construct a state-of-the-art sports stadium in the OT region and two other regions, especially when it comes to the Volta region. The initiative forms part of government's broad effort to enhance sports facilities nationwide, nurturing regional talent to also help promote community engagement and improve local sports infrastructure.
As we speak now, Volta region have two teams in the Premier League, the Bando House of Lions and Hohoe United. So the Volta region and Ho Stadium, for that matter, will benefit from these planned projects. So the Minister for Finance in his budget will be making some announcements, and we'll see what we can start with next year and what can be added in subsequent years. So we are very much aware. We have had a series of engagements. We've sent a number of persons to that facility to look at. The NSA has gone in there. The regional minister has extended invitation to NSA again, and we are very much aware. It all boils down to the resources. But
let's do some more here, where the Director General of the National Sports Authority, Ampofo Ankra, has revealed that the authority is engaging with the Sports Minister to better understand fan attendance patterns across different sporting events in Ghana. He explained that data shows varying demographics for the Black Stars, the Ghana Premier League, women's football, and other domestic events. According to him, the insight will help the NSA develop strategies to maintain and upgrade facilities while encouraging greater public participation.
Yes, we're still engaging with the Honourable Minister because we found there's a new pattern of fans where if it's the Black Stars, you have a different, demography when it's the Ghana Premier League, when it's women's football, when it's domestic, non-football events. So we're trying to put all this together, which will give us a fairer idea of exactly what to do in order to maintain it, upgrade, and also encourage more people to attend. And then that would help in also maintaining our facilities.
Well, we still stay with the National Sports Authority because they have officially announced that the suspension on professional boxing in Ghana will be lifted on Thursday, November 6, 2025, marking a major step towards reviving one of the country's most celebrated sporting disciplines. The following three sports report has more.
National Sports Authority, NSA, in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, has announced that the suspension of professional boxing in Ghana would officially be lifted on Thursday, November 6, 2025. This decision follows months of intensive consultation and reforms undertaken by the Ghana Boxing Interim Management Committee, IMC, to address the tragic event that led to the suspension of the sport earlier this year. The suspension was imposed after the unfortunate death of professional boxer Ernest Bahubali Akushi on September 25, 2025, which sent shockwaves through the Ghanaian sporting community. In response, the NSA and IMC embarked on a comprehensive review of the sports medical, safety, and governance framework to ensure that tragedies never reoccur. According to the IMC's report, significant progress has been made in strengthening medical and safety protocols, improving administrative efficiency, and enhancing governance standards. The NSA praised the patience and cooperation of boxers, trainers, and promoters throughout this period of reform. It also extended an invitation to both local and international promoters to bring world-class boxing events to Ghana under these enhanced standards.
Well, before we go, just updates, by the way, when it comes to the UEFA Champions League, and Chelsea were held to a 2-2 draw against Qarabag, and Villarreal also losing to Pafos by 1-0. There are a host of games to come on at 8 p.m., including Manchester City versus Dortmund. You can get updates
of all of those games and more on our social media platforms at 3 Sports GH. My name is Oreku Ampofo, and up next on the bulletin is entertainment with Noela Donko.
of rhythm and purpose as legendary musicians Rocky Dawuni, J.W. Ambole and Oshami Kwame headlined the Pan-African Heritage Museum fundraising concert on Friday, November 7, 2025. The event slated for the Accra International Conference Center will showcase some of Ghana's most celebrated performers in support of the visionary Pan-African Heritage World Museum, an initiative founded by Professor Kojo Yanka, a leading advocate for African cultural preservation.
I say when you go to university, lecturer is your teacher. But when you come to listen to the band, Ambole is your teacher. Hey, you know what time it is? Okay.
The star-studded concert will feature performances by multiple Grammy nominee and global icon Rocky Dawuni, the legendary J.W. Ambole, the ever-dynamic Oshami Kwame, soulful songstress Sina Soul, and other acclaimed artists. The event is designed to raise support for the Pan-African Heritage Museum, a visionary cultural initiative aimed at educating, inspiring and healing through exhibitions that celebrate the history, culture and achievements of Africans and people of African descent.
At the moment, we have a digital museum space which is populated by over 3,000 artifacts. Now we are going to build a physical museum at Pomazi Hills at Winneba. That is where we will have a herbal plant section, a section devoted to heroes and heroines of Africa and Africa of the diaspora. We will have an amphitheater. We will have a section for youth and innovation. We would also have libraries and archives.
Professor Pashenteng Obeng serves as the CEO of the Pan-African Heritage Museum.
You may have heard of the adage that unless or until the lions have their own historians, the story of the hunt would always glorify the hunter. So now we are finding modes of conveying our own story.
Beyond the spectacular performances, the night will stand as a vibrant celebration of African pride and unity. Organizers are aiming to raise about $30 million to support the project. But the key question remains, how will the fund raised from this concert contribute to the museum's development?
We are going to employ people to do the collection of physical artifacts. 2, we would also find ways of publicizing what we have collected. 3, we are going to build the physical structure to house the artifacts that will be collected from all over the world. And it's not just the physical objects, but also the experiences, the histories, what we call the tangible and intangible aspects of people's heritage.
When completed, the Pan-African Heritage World Museum will serve as a global center for culture dedicated to celebrating, preserving and promoting the shared history and achievements of Africans and the African diaspora. It will be a space where visitors can explore Africa's past, understand its present and draw inspiration from its future. Music lovers, cultural enthusiasts and supporters of African heritage are encouraged to be part of the musical fundraising concert.
And that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Thank you, Noella. Coming up, international news.
The federal government has faulted the decision of the United States to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern over alleged violations of religious freedom. Abuja insists that the classification was based on misinformation, mispresentation, and faulty data. Addressing journalists at a press conference on Wednesday in Abuja, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said President Bola Tinubu's administration remains fully committed to protecting the rights of all citizens regardless of faith or ethnicity and to ending terrorism that has long afflicted the country. And that's it for our package this evening. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I am Portia Gabor. Do join Alfredo Cancer at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Good evening.